Okay, when Johnny Dagburn called me delusional, he was psychologically projecting. He is delusional because he thinks I'm delusional. Um, your government lied to you. You were lied to your entire lives about heroin. You might not want to accept it. You might not believe it, but I will put in the underbar for studies that prove the case. Because I have done it. I've gone down into the woodworks and actually reviewed it. You know, and I'll put a documentary too in it that was uploaded here to YouTube out of the UK called, The Truth About Heroin. And I'm just riding off the coattails of that and the fact that there were plenty of studies in that video, and and I'll timestamp when they start to go to the studies that they cite in it, the documentary, for all of you to see so that you don't have to actually just wait for all of the actual research that backs up, all this. So let's see where exactly the studies start. They're about 809. That's gathered, and then it goes from 809 to scientific opinion about this topic is unanimous, by the way. The available evidence indicates that heroin provided in pure form is a relatively safe drug. That's at the Coxini et al. Out of the Ethics of Experimental Heroin Maintenance. When heroin-dependent persons have become provided with daily maintenance doses under medical supervision, marked physiological deterioration or significant psychological impairment has not been observed. Heroin is very addictive, but does not in itself cause any serious illnesses, nor does it harm our organs or tissues. And they go on to show you that in essence, before the modern era, when it came to who got addicted to heroin, it was largely soldiers who were returning home from the First World War, and that there were major people who literally went. There are surprising names that were heroin addicts that were given maintenance doses that went on to do things like create children's books. One of the great children's classics was written by what politicians today would call a fucking smackhead. And this is Dr. I can write off the coattails of a literal Dr. Russell Newcomb, who is a senior drug addiction studies lecturer out of the University of Liverpool. I don't need a fucking struggling musician to fucking tell me this stuff when I've got doctors and people who have literal careers and lives in the scientific community that would fucking depend on getting this one right and the robustness of their research. So the children's classic, which so there's a children's classic, National Velvet. That was your smackhead who wrote it. Enid Bagel, she spent years, you know, on the drug and maintenance doses, and she lived to the age of 91 and wrote a children's classic, you know? So people who use this drug long term and get maintenance doses can live happy, healthy, productive lives. So you, Dagburn, who aren't even fucking succeeding as a musician, called me delusional and accused me of suffering from some personal delusions. You are delusional because you believe the crap the government miseducated you into about heroin. You were projecting. And sayonara, fuckboy.